case, which is the biggest news, I'd say, of the day. Georgia case, which is the biggest news, I'd say, of the day. The special prosecutor meeting with the White House 3 days after Trump announced his 2024 run. Is there any authority left that can actually drop the hammer on what appears to be a coordinated persecution of Trump, or does Joe Biden just control it all?
Well, this lawfare, these 4 unprecedented indictments against a former president who happens to be the leading presidential candidate, is obviously coordinated by the Biden White House. You had Jonathan Sue, President Biden's deputy White House counsel, waive President Trump's claim of executive privilege, right? So that led to the unprecedented, unnecessary, unlawful home raid on former President Trump for the presidential records he's allowed to have in the office of former president under the Presidential Records Act. And then you had, like you said, Matthew Colangelo going from a senior political slot in the Biden Justice Department to go to Alvin Bragg's office to indict a former president for the first time in American history. And now you have this Nathan Wade meeting with the Biden White House twice, including with the Biden White House counsel before the indictment, before Fani Willis's indictment. Yep. And you have to ask, if he's billing as Fani Willis's special investigator or special prosecutor on the Trump case, he was clearly talking to the Biden White House about the Trump case. Is
there anything that what fights this that Joe Biden doesn't already control? He controls the DOJ. Are they just going to get away with this? I mean, this is insane. I mean, again, and I state, if Trump had been doing this to Biden in 2020, you would see it would be a mutiny in this country. The bureaucrats, the media, everybody would be saying, we have to stand up. Hitler has arrived. We have to stand up to this. But because Joe Biden's doing it, there's obviously not going to be any outrage. Is there anything to counter this?
Yeah, I think that Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr need to look at opening a criminal investigation on Fani Willis for her illegally hiring her alleged boyfriend and bringing these political cases against President Trump. I mean, that should be what happens right now. And you should start to see members of the House of Representatives cut off funding and open up congressional investigations on this obvious lawfare by these Democrat operatives.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, we also have allegations, it gets more salacious even, that this guy Nathan Wade, who's the guy that Fani Willis brought in to kind of run the case and hire from the outside, there's allegations now that he's been sleeping with his boss, with Fani Willis, one of the indicted co-conspirators in the Trump case, alleging Wade paid for lavish vacations that he took with Willis using the Fulton County funds that his law firm had been receiving after Fani Willis hired and brought him on. County records show that Wade, who has played a prominent role in the election interference case, has been paid nearly $654,000 in legal fees since January 2022, and is using the money after being hired by Fani Willis to take her on trips to Napa and the Caribbean and all these other places. What could that potentially do to this entire case?
It could get the whole case thrown out because it shows that this appointment of this Nathan Wade was illegal. There was a conflict of interest under Georgia law. Yeah. This Nathan Wade has never tried a felony case, and then he was brought in to bring a felony RICO case against a former president of the United States and 18 co-defendants, a former president who happens to be the leading presidential candidate. This is you're dealing with public corruption. You're dealing with bribery, and that's what I'm saying. That the Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, and the Georgia Attorney General, Chris Carr, need to open up a criminal investigation on Fani Willis and Nathan Wade immediately.
Yeah, they owe it. I know that these people do not. I know Brian Kemp can't stand Donald Trump, but at the end of the day, that's the right thing to do. That message needs to be sent. You're right. There is a way to actually fight back on what this is just a ridiculous case. And as we look at all these cases against Trump, we start to see each and every one of them are just filthy in one way or another. Mike Davis, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Former Arkansas Governor Mike